Hello friends, in this tutorial I will teach you how to build a Python Tkinter based serial port program. So this is a graphical user interface based program and is powered by the Tkinter library. So I'll run the code right now. So this is the code. This will communicate with an Arduino that is connected to our Linux system. So you can provide the name of the serial port, that will be /dev/azm0, and you can select the correct baud rate. Here it is 9600. Then you can send the data that has to be transmitted. So I'll be sending the data A, and then I'll press the transmit data button. So this will send the data to the connected Arduino. So we can see that the serial port is opened and we have received the letter A. So that letter A is kept here. It is also written here. This is for debugging purpose. So you can use it to send data back and forth between the Arduino. I'll send the letter B, and we have received back the letter B. If we send any other data, it will say invalid command. That is because the Arduino receives any other letter, and by using its switch statement, it will just reply it with a string called as invalid command. I'll show that too. Here is the invalid command. So in this tutorial, I'll teach you how to run this program on the Linux system, how to configure the serial port permissions and other stuff. All the links to the particular video are in the description. So there is also another video which will teach you how to build this thing all from scratch. So you can check that also. Both the links are in the description. So if you like this video, do like and subscribe. So the first thing we are going to do is to check whether Python 3 is installed or not. So I'm using a Linux main system. So it's basically a Debian based system. So I'll just press Python, and then you'll check whether Tkinter is installed or not. So I can check that by importing Tkinter. So we don't have Tkinter, so we have to install the Tkinter library. So we cannot use pip, we have to use the apt command to install the Tkinter. Now you leave the Python interpreter, and then you'll use the apt command. So it will be sudo apt install Python 3 tk GUI. Now we'll call the Python interpreter again, Python 3. So Tkinter is there. You can also check it by using the built-in test command, Tkinter ._test. So this will create a small window showing that Tkinter is ready and will work. So you can just press enter. So you can see a small window popping up here. So this is the Tkinter window. So I'll quit this one. Now we have the Tkinter installed. Now we have to install the ttkbootstrap library. Now the ttkbootstrap library is the one that is giving all the theme support for our serial port programming. Now that Tkinter is completely installed on our system, we are going to install the ttkbootstrap library. Now you cannot install ttkbootstrap directly on our system, so we need to use something called as a virtual environment. So I will be using the when virtual environment, and we will install the ttkbootstrap library for our specific project. This will not be a system-wide installation. So we have to create a folder right now. So I'll make dir Tkinter serial. That will be the name of the directory. Now we have to create the virtual environment. So if you are not familiar with virtual environment, I have already done another video on that one. You can look it up. I will show it in the description. The link to that particular video is in the description. You can check that one. And we'll call Python 3 -m when. So when is the name of the command, and when is also the name of our virtual environment. Now this is a fresh installation of the Linux main system. So it is asking to install the ensure pip. So we have to follow the commands that are provided in the screen. So we'll just install this one. Press Y. Now we'll run the command again. Now the virtual environment is created inside the Tkinter-serial directory. Now if I list this one, there will be a folder. So before we do that, we have to activate the virtual environment. So that we have to use the source when bin activate. Now we can see that there is this text here called when. That means that we are inside the virtual environment. So we can now install the ttkbootstrap library inside this particular virtual environment using pip. Now that we are doing the serial port programming, we also need to install the pySerial library. So pySerial library will also be installed inside this particular virtual environment. So to access both the ttkbootstrap and the pySerial, you have to activate the virtual environment. If you deactivate the virtual environment, both the libraries will not be available to our code. So when you're running this particular code, we need to activate first, then we can run our code. So I'll install the pySerial library right now. Now I'll clear the screen. So I'll say pip list. So this will show all the installed libraries inside our virtual environment. So we can see that we have installed pySerial here, and we have installed the ttkbootstrap. Now you can download the code from our website. So this is our website, and you can find all the details regarding how to build the Python serial port communication program here. Everything is written here, and you can also find the video if you want. It is available on our YouTube channel also. So you can go to source codes here. Now you can download the whole code from here using this particular link. So you can extract the code from here. So the PC set code is the one we have to run. Before doing that, you have to flash the Arduino with the Arduino side C code. So I'll just go for this one, and you have to take the Python Tkinter serial port.py. That will be this particular file. We'll copy this one folder, that is the Tkinter-serial, and paste it here. So we'll go to the command line, the same folder Tkinter-serial, and then you can find that this is here. So this is the code that we are going to run. Now make sure that the virtual environment is active, like this one, and then we will run this one. So this is our serial port communication code. So you have to provide the serial port number here, something like /dev/tty shift AC M0. Then you have to provide the baud rate. Then you have to transmit the data. So you can give it something like A. So it will echo back the transmitted data. So there is a small logging window is also here. You can see that the operating system is Linux. So it's the name of the operating system here, and the time also is here. So some of all the actions that we are doing, like opening the serial port, is also logged in that particular window. Now if you use this particular program right now, it won't work because we have not set the permission for accessing the serial port. So you have to add your user to certain groups inside the Linux system so that you can access the serial port. So if I just say transmit data, I'll get an error. Could not open port/dev/tty. This is because I have not set the permission for that one. So we are going to do the permissions right now. So before we set the permissions for our serial port program, we are going to find out the serial port number belonging to our particular Arduino or a USB to serial converter. Here I am using an Arduino. So we will just find out the serial port number of that particular Arduino. It will be in the form of usually TTY USB0 or TTY AZM0. You can deactivate the when virtual environment right now. Now you can connect your Arduino to your Linux system. So here I am using a virtual machine. So I'm connecting the Arduino right now. If you are using a actual Linux machine, you can just connect it through the USB port. Now you can run the dmessage command. So it will be dmessage vertical bar tail. So you will give the password. So you can find that a new USB device has been detected. It's a full speed USB device, and you can find the manufacturer number here, that is the Arduino, and the serial number here. Now the port number is this one, ttys-acm0. This is the port number we are going to use in our program. This is one way to find out the port number of your Arduino or a USB to serial converter. The other one is to check the ByID directory inside the serial directory. So you can go to /dev cd/dev, and inside that there will be a directory called as serial. So there will be this one, and inside that there will be two directories called ByID and ByPath. So you can go to ByID, then you can do the ls. So you have to do the ls -l. So you can find the details of this particular serial port device. So you can find the port number is ttys-acm0. So this is the port number that we will be using. Now you have to set the permissions so that your user can read and write into the serial port device. For that, you have to be a member of the dialogue group, and then check groups $user. This is just for finding out the username of your account. So you can see my username is Rahul. So this is the username, and I'm a member of this particular groups. As you can see that there is no dialogue group here, so I'm not a member of the dialogue group. So we have to add me as the member of the dialogue group. For that, you have to use the usermod command. So it's usermod, and you have to use the sudo command also. Sudo usermod -a -G. Then you have to give the group name, that is the dialogue, and then you have to give the username. So either you can give it as Rahul, or you can give the $user. Groups Rahul. So I'm now a member of the dialogue group, but you have to log out or restart the system. So I'm going to restart the system. Now I have restarted my computer, and I will check the groups now. So now you're part of the dialogue group. Now the change has taken effect, so we can access the serial port now. We will go inside the Tkinter serial directory, and we will activate the virtual environment, because pySerial and ttkbootstrap are installed inside the virtual environment. So only after activating them, we'll be able to access the pySerial library. So we'll do that. We'll type source. So now we are inside the virtual environment. Now I have created a small program called test.py. So I'll show you what it has. So it will import the serial port from here. Then it will try to open the serial port. So we'll use serial.serial, and we'll give the full name /dev/ttys-acm0, and we'll give the baud rate. Now this value will be different in your system, but you need to add the /dev/ before the serial port number. So this is important. You have to give the full name. If you run this program and you don't get any error, that means that your serial port is working. So I'll run the code right now. I just write Python, and we'll just write test.py. So we have to run it inside the virtual environment after activating this one. So you can see the virtual environment is activated, and we'll run this one. So there is no error. That means that the program has worked correctly. Now we are going to run our Python Tkinter serial port program. So this is the name of the program. So this is available from our GitHub. So you can download it directly from the GitHub. Then we'll run this one right here. We'll just say Python, name of the program. Now the program is running, and you have to give the name of the serial port. So that will be /dev/ttys-acm0. This may be different in your system. You should check that one. Then you have to give the proper baud rate. So you can select any baud rate you want. I will be using 9600. Before you run this program, you should flash the Arduino set program into the connected Arduino, and the baud rate should be same. So you can give the data, let's say A, and you can see the name of the operating system here and the time. So now you can transmit the data. So you can see from here that serial port /dev/tty acm0 opened at baud rate equal to 9600. Then you can see that the received data is A, mean the Arduino had received the data A first, then it had encoded back again. So we can see that A is received, and you can also see the relevant information on your terminal also. This, if you want, you can disable it from your code. This is just for debugging purpose. So you can send other data also. If I send B, it will echo back the letter B. The small delay is there because I'm waiting for 2 seconds so that the Arduino get resetted. So if you send any other data, it will simply send back invalid data. So I'll send the letter C, and the Arduino will send that invalid data string. So it will be something like, we will get invalid command. This is sent by the Arduino. So all that information is actually inside the switch statement that is running inside the Arduino. The Arduino will get the character A, then it will check inside the switch statement what to send it back. So by modifying that particular switch statement, you can change it to, you can use it to control relays, LEDs, and other stuff. So this is how you do serial port programming using Tkinter on a Linux system. So if you want the full tutorial, so this tutorial will teach you how to build this particular Tkinter GUI and how to wire the buttons and how to set up the control system, etc. So if you want, you can check it out, or you can also check out our website. This will also explain how to do the same thing. So do like and subscribe. So thank you for watching this particular video.